Well, we're getting a little bit of a winter storm today. We've gotten about 10 inches of snow, and since about 9 a.m., the wind has been blowing 30 to 40 miles an hour. And I just finished saying, I'm really glad I don't have to go out in this right this minute, and there's no reason to try to clear snow until tomorrow because, well, the wind is going to keep blowing all night. And then the phone rang. A neighbor called, and he's stuck. And apparently he's stuck in a really big drift, so we're going to grab the Massey and a chain and go see if we can't get him out. This storm started out with about a quarter to a half inch of freezing rain before it switched over to snow, and the wind has been blowing 40 to 50 miles an hour all day. Those two factors combined meant there was no way I could see out of this tractor well enough to drive 3.5 miles to where the neighbor was stuck. He had been trying to take his wife to work. She works at the hospital in town, and they had gotten into a drift because, as you can see here, the visibility is absolutely terrible. This is worse than it looks on camera. There were several times I had to just stop and wait for the wind to die down because it was complete whiteout conditions. I don't have my plow down because I'm trying to clear anything off the road, but just because that's the only way I could see anything with those old headlights.
I don't want you to get stuck. I got my 5-year-old son with me.
I'm just going to kind of go this way because I know where the road was. So after getting stuck in their SUV trying to get into town, the neighbor had called his father-in-law, who brought down their plow truck and tried to get him out, but unfortunately he lost track of the road in a ground blizzard and ended up going off the side and getting stuck. And then somewhere in this process, they broke the front drive shaft, so it ended up only being in two-wheel drive. Once the truck was out, we got to figure out exactly what we were going to do about the SUV still buried in the snowdrift a good 200 yards further up the road. We made a couple of attempts here to try to plow our way in and get to the stuck car, but bear in mind at this point in the dark, I can't see anything better in real life than you can here, and it doesn't take long at all to confirm our suspicions that there's no way we're going to be able to plow our way to this thing in the dark, because from where we are, we can't even see the hazard lights flashing on it. The neighbor and his father-in-law decided they were going to hike out to the car and get his wife and his son and bring them back, and we would just take them home and then deal with digging that car out in the daylight the next day. Just to make sure it would work, but otherwise, yeah. There's my door closer. The big problem I'm having here is traction and not power. The Massey has got about 120 horses to the PTO, which is certainly enough to run this 8-foot blower no problem. The issue is, being two-wheel drive, it doesn't have enough traction to push the blower completely into this packed, drifted snow. So that's why I'm having to come in and kind of take it in two different layers and kind of carve off the top and then come back and get down closer to the ground.
I'm so glad he hadn't sold this yet. I know. coffee. This is why I should have brought muffins and coffee. Yes.
I don't want to hit the car. That's my concern. I don't want to hit the car. So if they're going to try to back it up, I'll get into it. Something in the shift mechanism is either frozen or jammed from being buried in a snowdrift overnight, and the car is entirely, completely stuck in park. We tried backing it up a little bit to see if that would free it. That didn't do it. So then we decided to try just pulling it out and letting the tires slide on the snow so we could get it out of the drift onto dry ground, but that really didn't go so well either.
We're gonna hook up to the back. He's gonna lift the ass end up and then try to just haul us out.
Holy cow. It's filling up in already.
Hey, you got your strap?
I got a couple, yeah.
So I'll hook up to you if you.
Yeah, that works. Only got one.
I don't need to call this.
Okay. Since the tractor was still struggling to get traction, in addition to picking up the rear wheels off the ground so the transmission being stuck in park wouldn't matter, we also decided to chain Jason's pickup to the front of the tractor just to give it that little extra bit of grip that might be all it took to have got this thing moving and gotten it out. Unfortunately, he would get over a little too sideways and get into the side of this snowbank where we've dug through it, and we would have to disconnect the strap in order for him to be able to get, well, at least out of there. Fortunately, we got the car out right before the county plow showed up to break through this drift and get it cleared all the way open, because you guys can't see, there's a good 200 to 250 yards of snow drifted up on the far side of where this car was that we had to go around through some side roads to get up here and get it out. But I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you for watching. Subscribe if you haven't, and more later. Tuxedo! Come on, little brick.